This is how the X-Men will come into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If I'm wrong in 5 weeks' time, you can call me out. Obviously, 5 weeks' time is when Wandavision ends. And everybody suspects that this is going to stimulate the mutants being introduced into the MCU. But here's how. We know that Wandavision has been slowly progressing through decades, starting with the 50s, then the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and eventually modern day. We know Wanda's created a bubble reality for herself and everybody that's inside of it. And we also know that Wanda's using cosmic energy from the Big Bang to be able to warp reality. And further, we know that things from within the bubble reality are transferred outside of it. Monica's wearing the same clothes from the 1970s that she was wearing inside the reality when she gets thrown out of the bubble. So when the bubble breaks, everything that happened inside that reality is going to be extrapolated into our world, retroactively creating mutants starting from the 1950s. This also means Wanda's actual father could still be Magneto, and the reality-shifting consequences could explain why J.K. Simmons' JJ is in
There are a lot of us. Come on. You always were very clever. But if you think I'm going to just let you undo my registration discs, you're wrong. Marsh. Are you trying to threaten the Avengers? We're Earth's mightiest heroes. You're just a deluded schlub in a bad suit. Still wrong. Ultron? Surprised to see me? But now it all starts to make sense, doesn't it? Not that it matters now. I have been biding my time. Letting you think you won. Studying your every move. Setting up the pieces. Watching you do exactly what I wanted.
Why is no one talking about this?
I will now make my wife disappear.
This will blow your mind.
Sure you don't want an audience volunteer named My Husband Ralph?
No, abracadabra.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Hi.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Division?
Boss, it's working. He's burning Ultron out of the net. He won't escape through there.
WandaVision spoilers incoming.
Hayward, you sneaky bastard.
It's a blink and you'll miss it moment in episode 6. Darcy finds something called Project Cataract in Hayward's files. Now, if you don't know, cataracts are when your eyes get cloudy and you have to have surgery to repair your vision. Now, Disney's been putting Age of Ultron in our face after every episode since the beginning of the show. Vision was originally designed as a body for Ultron. The Avengers gave him his own personality. He helps defeat Ultron in the end. They destroy every last drone and Vision burns him out of the internet. But if Ultron was smart, he would have backed himself onto a flash drive or something somewhere, right? If Sword found something like that, it would have been a perfect template to repair Vision's brain. Sword would have no idea that this is basically how Ultron was born in the first place. Ultron was a master manipulator. He's played Wanda before. She doesn't remember how any of this started. Did he convince her to save Vision so he could save himself? Part 2 incoming.
All right. So the toaster commercial, Power Stone. The watch commercial, Time Stone. The soap commercial, Space Stone. Lagos commercial, Reality Stone. The yogurt commercial, the Soul Stone. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Hit that follow, hit that like. I need to talk to somebody.
Craziest theory you'll hear, but this is why Ultron is the true genius villain of WandaVision. Take a look.
He didn't say dead. He said extinct.
Yep. That up there, that's the end game. But you will tear them apart.
She did, unintentionally. I think it was Ultron's plan to wound the Avengers before the arrival of Thanos. The Avengers as we have known them are now extinct. I think Age of Ultron has much more of an influence on the plot of WandaVision than we expect. When Ultron creates Vision, he's not going to use his body, but use Vision to further manipulate Wanda. Wanda is immediately drawn to Vision throughout Age of Ultron, and Ultron knew Thanos would come for the Mind Stone, killing Vision in the process. This causing Wanda to grief and making Vision no longer a threat to Ultron in the future. Look what they even suggest at the end of every episode. I have plenty of more evidence, so like and follow for.
I don't think anybody's talked about this in WandaVision at all, but you 90s X-Men kids, you might know what I'm talking about. Let's go. So a long time ago, I saw this scene. This is from X-Men, the 90s cartoon show. Just to give some context, that's Alex Summers, Cyclops' brother. So they go to shoot one another, and nothing happens. The beams are essentially null and void. The Summers brothers can't hurt one another because they're immune because they're siblings. And then I saw this last week's episode. Wanda is trying to use her own powers on her children, and it doesn't work. But then in tonight's episode, she shoots Pietro and he flies across town square. So to me, that's not really her brother. I know there's guesses that it's Mephisto, but I don't think it's that either. What do you guys think?
So in the 7th episode of WandaVision, I think Doctor Strange is already trying to break through to Wanda. In the show's The Office style opening, we're treated to a montage of a bunch of things that are just saying Wanda. It's almost as if someone's trying to get her attention. And there are multiple moments where it reads Wanda and then zooms in as if someone is saying it twice. Oh snap, I just realized that's Stan Lee's birthday. Nice. Anyway, there's even a moment where it says, "I know what you are doing, Wanda." I like to watch with subtitles, and while Wanda was in the kitchen, I noticed that the name of the news station that was on was WNBA, which roughly spells out Wanda. And this might not mean anything, but the very next thing we hear is not a thing weighing heavily on your conscience, which could be pertaining to Wanda herself. Now we know that the show is going to lead directly into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which Scarlet Witch is going to be in also. And the episode's commercial heavily hinted at Scarlet Witch being a Nexus being, which I explained in my last video that this means she is the gateway to the multiverse. And I have no doubt that after the events of the show, Doctor Strange is aware of this. Also, the episode is called Breaking the Fourth Wall. What if Doctor Strange is too?
Your missing person is in the witness protection program.
Theory time. Spoilers, duh. Maybe blind duet this one because I want to watch your brains explode. So a lot of us have been wondering who Jimmy Woo's missing person is. I have an idea that's a little out there, but first we gotta go way back. You remember this guy, right? Agent Coulson was killed in the first Avengers movie by Loki, but that's not the end of his story.
Reactor Fury, he had a team of scientists working around the clock. I wanted to die, and we shouldn't let.
Coulson's not the witness, but stay with me. Just establishing S.H.I.E.L.D. has the technology to resurrect the dead, but it really fucks with your memory. Sound familiar yet?
He was killed by Ultron.
Bro, get to squeeze his stinking sister to death or what?
And how's Pietro?
Details are fuzzy, man.
Last time we saw Pietro's body was on a S.H.I.E.L.D. transport. I know, it's ridiculous, right? But really, would S.H.I.E.L.D. bring back Phil Coulson and not try to bring back a speedster? They bring him back, he can't remember shit, so they stash him in witness protection in Jersey. Vision buys property in the same town, because Nick Fury knows people. But Thanos shows up before the family reunion. All over part 2.
Okay, nerds, we need to talk about Monica Rambeau. So if you aren't a comic fan, you might not know that Monica Rambeau has actually been around since the early 80s. She premiered in a Spider-Man comic book. And she was actually Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers was Captain Marvel. She's not technically the first Captain Marvel because the first Captain Marvel was a guy and his name was Marvel and it's complicated, but who cares? Anyway, she is one of the single most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. She can move at the speed of light. She can control all forms of energy. She can even turn herself into all forms of energy, meaning that, like, she's impervious to weapons. Like, if you fire a bullet at her, she'll just turn into light waves and it'll just pass right through. She once overpowered Spider-Man by striking faster than his spidey sense would allow him to react. As powerful as Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel is, Monica Rambeau is more powerful. No question she could have defeated Thanos by herself if she wanted to. So it's like a big deal that she's being introduced to the MCU, and I cannot wait to see what they do with her. If they don't make her a major player in the movies going forward, I'm a riot.
This scene always proves why Wanda is the strongest Avenger, literally and figuratively.
So what now? Just gonna lock me up somewhere?
No, not somewhere. Here.
Ooh.
Here.
I'll give you the role you chose. The nosy neighbor.
So savage.
No. Please.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're cruel. You have no idea what you've unleashed.
Ominous setup.
You're gonna need me.
If I do, I know where to find you.
Wait. Hiya, hun. Say, that's some kind of getup you're.
A lot of people loved my take on giving the Avengers credit where credit is due when it comes down to fighting Thanos and their overall role in Endgame. The argument always stems around this woman. Let me preface this by saying that Captain Marvel is a great character and she did a whole lot in Endgame. Psych, I lied! This character is dry! The character was hyped up so much and barely did anything. I'm gonna be for real, I don't like her in her comic book form or this one for that matter. Her entire character in Endgame is I'm the shit, move out my way. I think Rhodey said it best in the opening scene.
Before you didn't have to. Hey, everybody in this room is about that superhero life. And if you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
That's what I'm saying! Bro, her main purpose in her movie Late Game and in Endgame was to say, hey, ladies are the shit. Already knew that with her, damn sure with her, and then most definitely her. Cause guess what happens when I type in Marvel's most dangerous woman? Well, butter my biscuit, it's Gamora. All these ladies were wasted or killed just to have Captain Marvel flying scenes. I guarantee most of her contributions is just flying at stuff. She's super uber.